Hey guys, I'm V. You probably know me from Tumblr or Twitter, but let's be real with ourselves, you probably know me from Tumblr. Um, I'm filming this completely on impulse after almost having a panic attack on cam. Got out of that shit real quick, and I have been thinking about posting YouTube videos, and I was like, what better time than now to ramble about how I'm feeling about everything. I am a sex worker. I recently started webcam modeling as well, and I've been in a weird place with that lately, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So lately I've kind of been falling back into like a more like sex repulsed phase. Not necessarily repulsed, like that used to happen to me, but not as much anymore, but just like I'm not as interested in sex as I usually am. And usually like that interest makes sex work a lot easier because I'm not like, oh, I'm not in the mood, and lately I've been like, oh, I'm not in the mood, and that makes it a lot harder for me, honestly. And just generally like having stress about how to tell family and how to deal with it within myself, because like first starting out, sex work helped me a lot deal with my own hypersexuality and the feelings around that. I would switch very rapidly between like hypersexual and like sex repulsed like all the time, and it was like really stressful and a lot. And like sex work helped me like kind of manage that and like figure out the things that I was comfortable with and where to set my boundaries to like retain my values, basically. But right now I'm just like in a weird place where I'm not really interested in doing any of that stuff, and it's been hard because like that's where my only income is coming from. So I've been like, what do I do right now? Because I only have a couple more weeks until I go back to school, and I don't have time to get like a retail job or something, but I can't just sit around and do nothing. I have to work or I will freak out. So I've been focusing a little bit more on my art. I've been thinking about trying to sell some prints, maybe some shirts, I don't know. I've been carving some block prints. And I've also thought about making YouTube videos, which I am doing right now. I've just like been trying to find ways to connect more with people and less with people's sex drives, you know? Because I did, initially, like when I started, I did do a lot of that because being a queer sex worker, trans man, weird looking fucking freak, I don't really appeal to the mainstream porn industry. I appeal to like select people who have interest in that kind of person, and like instead of doing general like porn stuff, it was more just like I'm connecting with people, and it was really nice. And I still do that, but not to the degree that I would like to. I feel like as my audience has grown, I've kind of like fallen out of touch with that part of it, and I would like to not fall out of touch with that part of it. No, but I'm really just looking to see if people are interested in that kind of thing from me. I've always been an artist. I'm in art school right now, and I've actually managed to market my art towards my audience that I've built, because like people like get commissioning drawings of themselves, so I've sold a lot of those, but I'm wanting to sell more of my original pieces, so I'm like playing around with how I can like market that to this audience. So yeah, all I'm really trying to say is I'm having a hard time doing sex work right now, and that's weird because I usually really enjoy it, and I want to look into other options. I'm not going to stop doing sex work, but I need to figure out other options, especially until I can explain everything to like my family members and stuff, because that's been a big block. I'm very anxious about disappointing them, and I have every intention of telling them at some point, but I would prefer it to be when I am no longer living in their house, because that's a little weird when you're like, hey mom and dad, I've been filming porn in your basement. That's awkward. I don't want to have that conversation. I would like to be out of the house and then have to be like, hey, I have something to tell you. we'll see how it goes. Either way, I know that what I'm doing is good for me, and it has been very helpful and really empowering for me to be able to A, be self-employed, and B, like, be able to be my own boss and realize that, like, I can make a living off of this. I can support myself. And, like, being in a school that's very intensive right now. I'm going to art school, so, like, it's really fucking hard to have a job while you're there. They actually tell you not to have a job while you're there, which is not possible because it's so fucking expensive. So, like, it's really kind of kept my head above water while I'm, like, living in the dorms and, like, just trying to survive there. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. I may make more videos in the future. I may just forget about all of this entirely after I post this video. Who knows? We'll see. Either way, thank you for watching, guys. I will maybe see you again, or maybe not. I'll be around on Tumblr and Twitter, social media down below, probably. I don't know. Follow me places, or don't. I don't really give a shit. I'm just here to complain, apparently. Have a good night.